recommend that one. I don't know how many times I've said recommend in this video. Count the times of how many times I'm going to say this book is great and I highly, highly recommend it. And welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and welcome to today's video. So today we are speaking about the books that I'm reading. By the way, igama AsandaNtini. Do not forget to like, comment and subscribe to this channel, and we speak about everything life, law and love. Basically today we are speaking about books. Books that I've read this year and books that I'm currently reading. That's what I'm sharing with you guys, and some insight on what maybe could give you ideas of what to read next. So yeah, first book that I actually didn't read, I listened to is the Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. It's a great book. It reflects on race, racism and feminism and and relationships. That's what the book is all about, because it speaks on relationships of infidelity by married men. Both the main character and her aunt were in situations like that, but the main character, yeah, this is a spoiler because it's very far in the book, but it speaks on things like that. It speaks on racism, how when you transition from a different country, from an African country, there's always a culture shock when you get to a different place, that people are actually comfortable with being racist, and how having conversations with different races about racism always makes them uncomfortable. So yeah, have a read of it or listen to an audiobook on it, because I listened to an audiobook. I think it was about 8 hours long. I listened to it was 12. I listened to it in different days, so get to it. You can get to it as well. Okay, and then book that I'm currently reading like every night, just started reading, is the book by Dr. Perry and Oprah, What Happened to You. A lovely, lovely book, and it's a great reflection of trying to figure out, why are you this people pleaser? Why are you this type of person? Why are you an A-type personality? Why are you this and that and that? And I'm enjoying seeing that through a perspective of a neurosurgeon, as well as Oprah, seeing and reflecting on myself. And that's interesting to read. I would highly, highly recommend it, especially when you've suffered a bit of trauma. We've all suffered different traumas. Our traumas are different in different ways. It could be emotional abuse. It could be sexual abuse. It could be failure. There are different types of traumas that we face and that shape who we are. And that book helps in reflecting on just that. Do read it. And then I'm reading a fictional book, which is it's Adultery by Paula Coelho. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But the author of The Alchemist, that's his other book, which is also a really nice self-help book, though it's fiction, because that's what he does. He writes novels, but in those novels there are so many great life lessons. And here, this woman is gonna cheat. She's cheating on her husband, and with a married person, by the way. Spoiler alert. So there are many reflections in that, and it's nice to see. And then I also read for my feminism write-up, Anti-Woman by Bell Hooks. A great read on seeing how Black women in America and everywhere else in the world are actually excluded from the movement of feminism, how we are still the other even when movements are for women. Black women, not quite. We are still the other even in that, and understanding African feminism and how it differs from just feminism. Great read. The great poetry book of and Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Great book. My favorite poem there is Phenomenal Woman, so do have a read on it. And so I'm also reading How to Not Die Alone. It's actually a reflection on relationships and seeing how one has been doing dating wrong or right, relationships wrong or right. And yeah, highly recommended, especially if you're trying to get back into the dating scene and you don't want to make the same mistakes you made before. Great read. Also reading philosophy. Yes, I'm getting into reading a lot of philosophy. I'm getting into reading and speaking and listening to podcasts about philosophy. And one that I'm reading is Being and Nothingness. Great read. Haven't finished reading it because it's long. I'm probably not gonna finish it because one thing about philosophy is that you don't need to read the whole thing. Once you get concepts and everything, you're good to go. And yeah, so I'm reading that, and one of my takeaways is that we actually just spend a lot of our time stressing and fighting on the unimportant stuff, and that stress on unimportant stuff has made us waste a lot of time, and when nothing really matters. That's what I'm seeing this book going. And then Milk and Honey. That book it's a great book. It's short, it's a great read, and it is very, very reflective. It's very, especially if you have history of sexual abuse and you have a problem of objectifying women if you're a guy. You have a problem of thinking that you have power over women because you are able to take and not take from them whatever it is that you want from their body. That's a great book. It's a great book about pleasure, understanding pleasure for women as a woman, that sex and sexual pleasure is just not about the other party. Sometimes it's about us. It's Milk and Honey by Rupi I'll put a screenshot of the book. Rupi Kaura. Rupi. Yes, that's the book. Don't come at me. I told you that I can't pronounce stuff. And yeah, that's a nice book to read. And The Mountain Is You. I have a whole blog about this book. And if you want to read my insight on some of the chapters about the book, do head over to my website. I'll link the blog here. And yeah, it's a great book. Great book. The Mountain Is You by Brianna West. And great book, great read on understanding how most of the time, if not all the time, all the things that we have or do not have are a direct consequence of our doing, and a direct consequences of our non-doing, a direct consequence of our fears, our non-fears, that we are the problem most of the time, basically. It's a great book, one of the first books I read this year, so I encourage you to read it. And then also finished reading early this year, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. Incredible book, and on vulnerability, and it's very, very interesting to see Uguti. One of the reasons why we are afraid of stuff is because we are afraid of vulnerability, is because we do not understand what is vulnerability and how powerful it is to be vulnerable, to be open to stuff, to try out new stuff. And also the reason why we are so busy judging and questioning people's choices, because we are not in the arena. So what is important that I learned from Daring Greatly is that the only people that matter are people that are in the arena with you. People that are outside, people that are cheering, yeah, they're good, they're great, encouragement or discouragement, but What matters is that you are on the dance floor and you are dancing to the music and you are not giving up. And that's daring greatly. Great book. Recommended any day, every day. And I'm also reading a book, a business book, Start With Why. I think it's very important when you are in business, social media, work, everything, in varsity. When you start questioning why are you doing whatever it is that you are doing, it's going to actually make more sense. It's going to actually yield better results because you understand, why am I writing this book? Why am I getting into this degree? Why am I actually doing this? And once you understand your why, you are more powerful. You deliver a product that's more of quality because you understand everything behind the why. You understand why is it that you are getting into this more than this is what I'm getting into. So great book when you are actually confused about and whether you should be doing it. Great book, highly recommended. And Power of Habit, great book on understanding the habits that we do and how they affect and result in whatever it is that we are doing, and also understanding how to change habits and whether you should even change the habits, and understanding the psychology of habits and how they are created. There are many experiments that are done in the book, and it's a great book, and you get a great understanding of it. You get a great understanding of why we do whatever it is that we do and how our mind allows us to do whatever it is that we are doing. And then I'm currently reading the newest book that in my book collection is Atlas of the Heart. I just started reading it, but I've been hiding from it. As I've said when I was reviewing Daring Greatly, that I hide a lot from the book because it's a great self-reflection book, and highly recommended because it helps with understanding human connections and understanding how the heart actually works with everything that we do, whether it is working, dancing, whatever it is, how our heart works with all that we are, and how our emotions basically shape the things that we do and the people that we are. So recommend that one. I don't know how many times I've said recommend in this video. Count the times of how many times I'm going to say this book is great and I highly, highly recommend it. That's a lot of times, but yeah, I mean it. I recommend and encourage you to get all of the books that I'm mentioning here. And the last one that I read, which was just basically a book that I read to sleep, is The Crossing by Sarita Jakes. It's an old book. I got it from my mom's shelf. And it's a great old book that is fiction. It's a novel, and there are a lot of plot twists. And if you just want to read fiction that is Christian based, I would recommend that. And you'd see how abazalwane bekhohlakele. It has that as well. Let's get to the part where I tell you how I actually read books and how I'm able to actually read so many books at once. It's because one mistake I've done in the past is wanting to finish a book, wanting to finish izincwadi zonke enginazo. And when I was reading Hillary Clinton's book of What Happened, it was a long book. Most of it not the type of book that I would read, but I wanted to finish it so bad that I would open it every day, read 2 pages, and then not be encouraged to finish it until I finished it. And it took me a long time because I was not encouraged to read the book, and I would just end up reading kancane. And if you're reading a lot of books, say I read Start With Why and I get bored or want to put it away, I'm not going to stop reading just because I couldn't read the book that day. So what I do is take a different book, whether it's from a different, a book's called genres. comment below what our book's called. Are they genres or whatever it is? So if I want to read a psychology book, I'm going to read that day. And if I feel that I'm no longer interested in reading psychology that day, I'm going to read a business book. If I'm reading a novel, I'm going to read that. And then when I feel like, okay, I'm still within my 1 hour of reading a day, but I'm just not into this book today, I take another book. That's how I end up reading a lot of books. And nothing happens to your brain. You are confused about what you're reading. At school, we were doing how many subjects? 7, but you could conceptualize all of the subjects and get to this one and read and understand for that one. Get to this one, read and understand for this one. That's what you do with reading as well. You take and take and take whatever it is that you want to improve on that particular day, whether it's your communication skills, whether it's your relationship skills, whether it's your financial habits. You take and take from wherever that you are, and that's how you end up reading different books. That's how you end up being better at reading books, instead of reading one book, getting tired and forcing yourself to read a book and not really enjoying reading. All right, I'll do some reviews of the books later as the year goes. And yeah, comment below with the book that you want me to read next, and comment with the review that you want me to do on the books that I've mentioned. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy these books. And my hard copy books, I buy most of them from Take a Lot, and some I've bought from, there's a shop here in South Coast called Skate Stationers, and I also have bought some at Exclusive Books and Adams. So CNA, when it was still around here in Potchefstroom, I don't know whether it's still around anywhere else, but yeah, you can buy books everywhere. But one place that I know you can get most books is Take a Lot. Yeah. All right, I am saying yeah a lot, and shoot, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. And just a disclaimer, I have a really busy week this week, and I'm not going to be posting another video again this week as I did last week with posting just one video, because my head is all over the place. And yeah, hope you guys understand, and I hope that you have a great week, and happy July. I hope that July is a better month, a more fruitful and productive month for each and every one of us. All right, I'll see you on my next video. Bye.